um, professional fields. And like I say, lawyers, they dress real stiff, spiffy. And medical, they'll have their scrubs on, or they'll have their butcher coat on, or whatever, or lab coat, or whatever they call those things. And policeman is the same thing. You'll see him with his uniform and this type of stuff. And another thing would be military. The military people be in uniform, and so when you see these people, when you profile them, the first thing when you see them, you see and you say, oh, well, this person's got authority in, and by their appearance, then that's what you're thinking. They know something in this. That's one of the problems that you really, really need to watch out for. Okay, these, I'm not talking about all of them, and I don't even know what the percentage of them are. But anyway, this is where you're going to find educated idiots. And so these educated idiots, they've been taught something. So since they've took some classes and they get their ongoing education and all this kind of stuff, they think that they have the authority in this particular field. And excuse me, I've still got a little problem here. And so they may, when you look around, they might be the most of authority in this particular field from who we are sitting around here. Yeah, that you might be right, and but that doesn't really mean that they know anything. It's the same thing if you let's take a nurse. Oh man, I don't want it to sound like I'm picking on nurses. I used to think nurses were, in the medical world, were the number one, and but in time, well, here, let me explain. Let's talk about nurses. Okay, there's one nurse, there's 6 of us, one of us fell down and got hurt. We're going to look at the nurse and see what the nurse has to say. She'd be the one with the knowledge and experience that we would hope that she would have. Now, now the thing is, she might be a surgical nurse, so her specialty might not be falling down, but we're going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and there's nothing wrong with it. And as a good, true professional, let's say it was a surgical nurse, and then she would say, well, I'm a surgical nurse. That's the first thing. She would make sure she clears the air on what her field of expertise is. And then we can, in other words, we can take what she says with a grain of salt, because, like I say, this really isn't her specialty, but, she still knows something about injuries. So, and then we listen to what she has to say and stuff like that. And we make judgments on what we're going to do with this person. So, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Now, the thing is, when they say, well, just because she is a nurse, she must have the authority. It doesn't quite work that way. And that's why some fields are like that. The reason I like the nurses is because they're the hands-on. I mean, you can learn things in schools and classes and get your certificate and stuff like that. But where you really start learning is when you put what you've learned into practice. And that's where the learning really comes in. Then you develop skills. And that's what we're looking for with this nurse. What does her skills tells her what we need to do with this person that fell? So, and that's what I'm saying. That is a good thing. Okay, and that's not a professional idiot there. That's a good thing. When the way I said it, when she's up front and she's knowledgeable, but we all understand where she's knowledgeable at, and she doesn't act like she's knowledgeable in something that she's not. And now this is where you look at military. Okay, military, like I say, they look professional. They all this kind of stuff. But the reason most people now in the United States you get along with military because you don't confront them that often. I confront military, almost every day, and then when I'm on the road, multiple times, and it's cool. This is why I'm saying all this is because the military, the professional military knows don't talk. They don't communicate with the people. They stay away from the people. They stay in their own group. And the reason, and there's a good reason for that. And the thing is, they're professional military. And what that means is they wear a uniform, they carry a gun. Now, it goes from there, what it is that they specialize in, what do they know about. Kind of like when I was in the Marines. Okay, I wasn't talking about the first aid, somebody falling. Okay, the only thing I know about that is experience. I didn't go to school, I wasn't taught. All I know is the experience. So I know what I know through what I've experienced, and that's what it is. If somebody had a car wreck and I was in the military, the chances are I wouldn't run out there and pull these people out of the car wreck. Well, I would, but that's kind of a personality I have. But the smartest thing would be is don't get involved, but to control the traffic so nobody else gets hurt and stuff like that. That would be the smartest thing. And so the military they have people that have the knowledge on what to do. That's why, like I say, when I see all these military people, seldom do they ever talk to me. Sometimes I get in a situation where I can trick them into talking to me. But the best thing for them is don't associate with the public, civilians. Don't associate with the civilians. And the thing is, once they associate with the civilians and they start making judgments, what did I say? Car wreck, I go out there pulling people out of the car. I don't know nothing about that kind of stuff. I'm an idiot. I'm doing something that I don't know anything about. I'm a professional idiot when it comes to something like that. So that's what I'm saying. You have to consider the circumstances and consider all this stuff when it comes to professionals in the way of being a professional idiot. So like I say, remember I talked about the educated idiot, well, I guess I haven't talked about it, but anyway, let me get down here. Another thing like the professional idiot would be law enforcement. Okay, law enforcement are not police. They used to be police. Police is a skill. What it is policing. And policing is, like I say, you're using skills to detect things. You detect when people need help. Somebody fell down. Somebody's, they're having a heart attack. In policing, you can detect things by profiling, by the way people act and stuff like that. And policing is more of a civil duty, something you're helping the public. That's what policing or police does. Now, see, the thing is, nowadays they are law enforcement, and now law enforcement is a whole other world. It's not policing, and like I say, the only thing that they do and what they were taught is enforcement of laws. And the thing that's funny is they're not even lawyers, so how can they enforce laws that they don't know? I mean, so that's what makes it, as policing, it's easier to do because you know what's right and wrong, moral and immoral. So it's much easier to police than it is to do law enforcement. And so that's why when you get a group of law enforcement, police, together, you're going to find some professional idiots in there. I say there's things that they should be doing and shouldn't be doing, and because they are in a position of authority, professionals, they lose track of what they're knowledgeable in. And so then that's when it's easy for law enforcement to become professional idiots. Because like I say, they really don't know. This particular circumstances, the law doesn't apply. What do you mean the law doesn't apply? So see, law enforcement, they don't think like that. Policing does. I say the laws are outline of kind of what goes on. So, but law enforcement, they expect everybody to, and so, in other words, law enforcement, they're leaning towards military. Because military is a black and white world, the military. Everybody precisely has to do certain things in the military. That's why you see the military people are completely separate. They even have military laws that are completely different. Military doesn't fall under the same laws as everybody else. And the military personnel know that. And so that's why when they go to town and start partying and stuff, now they're getting into the civilian world, not just their own military laws. So it's a little tricky.